The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes more to see if we can get some more attendees online, and we will start right away. We'll just wait 3-4 minutes. Okay, I think we can get started because number of people joining has not been increasing. Well, right now we have one more. We have like 12, 13 people joining us this morning, and I think we can get started. So thank you for joining us, and congratulations and thanks for your interest in this open call and in this project, and congratulations for being successful in your application. I'm Francisco Bujan from CARSA, the entity in charge of the coordination center of IPA4SME. But this morning I have also my colleague Ian McPherson is also listening to the webinar, and our colleagues from Gopacom, Niklas and Joan. Niklas, I don't know if we might remember the proceedings to everyone before I get started, and so if in case they have questions or they want to raise their hands and so on, if you can just make a brief indication on this.
Yeah. No, thank you, Francisco. So good morning, everyone. My name is Niklas. I work for Gopacom. I'm part of the IPA4SME consortium. And just to give you a quick introduction to the webinar system we're using. So as you may probably saw, we are using GoToWebinar. And as most other webinar systems, there are a few ways you can interact with us, which we invite you to use throughout the webinar. So you are all muted by default. This is to facilitate the webinar, especially as your number grows. But still you can interact with us. So how can you do that? Mainly you can raise your hand if you would like to speak at a certain point, and you can use the chat function. So we very much invite you to do that. And then there's a third possibility, which is questions. So you can type your questions in at any point, and we will answer to them during the webinar. If they are, if the answer is quick, if it requires a longer answer, we will wait until the end of the webinar to address all remaining questions that you may have. And if you have any questions at any point or technical difficulties, please use the chat. And we will be monitoring this to make sure that you all have a good experience in this webinar. And that's it from my side, Francisco. I think you can take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Niklas. And let's get to the point of this service implementation webinar. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through the guide for beneficiaries that we've been preparing for you during last days while we were working on the ranking and working on the communication to all of you. We try to make it very simple, taking into account the requirements that we all have. And what we're going to do is just go through this guide for beneficiaries, which you might have already had the chance to go through. If not, we're going to, it's a very short document. I'm going to go through it slowly, and then at the end, if you have any questions, we can have a part for Q&A. Okay, we are like more than 10 people or more 13 people attending, so let's go for it. Well, first thing is you will be able to look at this document and download it from the EMS system. If you log in and go to documents, my documents, you can download this guide and read it carefully. So this is what is described at the very beginning. This has been specifically designed for you, for all the SMEs that have been awarded to either Service 1, Service 2, or Service 3, or all of them, in order to state the procedures and the timing and the conditions that we, as coordination center, and also the European Commission, as final responsible for the implementation of this project, of this action, will be requiring from you in order to to facilitate and implement a clear and transparent process for all of us. EMS, you already know, you've been working with it during the application process. Everything that will or represent an official or communication or official document or something that is important for the justification and the project implementation. Is there described or and embedded or uploaded in the system. So every time you have to interact with us in terms of providing us with an invoice, providing us with a proof of documentation with the EPO, etc. It will have to be done through the EMS platform. Of course, you can also use the calls, email for communicating with us, or the help desk email for communicating with us, or if you have any technical problem with the platform, you can also use the help desk for that as well. But as I was saying, all the documents and the interactions with official important documents that will stay there and remain for the future will have to be done through the platform. And let's go. So as you can read, also procedures will be managed through the platform under, and in your case, every one of you will have already has a customized part or site in the platform under my area menu. You have my project, and there's the one there where you have your project, in this case for this cut update. In case you will have a future projects or future applications within with IPA4SME action, you will have another one. But for the moment, you have just this one, and this will, as I said, you will be able to upload and download also guidelines and templates from there. And the very first, as you might have already seen in the communication, the very first step for everyone, either you have service 1, 2, or 3, or all of them, is to work a little bit just on a brief satisfaction survey that we are asking you to complete in order to start the process. So in all cases, this is required for all of you, and this will only be done once, okay, during the whole process. And as I said, this represents the very starting point of the service implementation. So, for service implementation, if you don't do this, we cannot you can and we can't start with the support of the service. This service is designed to effectively monitor the impact of the project. This is something that we need to know, and to know how this action has helped you to improve. So this is also a summary table of the service. Of the surveys that we are asking you to work in during the whole lifetime of the action, depending on which service you're working on, and also in displayed in time. The first one, as I said, is the IPA4SME self-assessment survey, which is something that needs to be done at the very beginning. You already have the link to that survey, and that represents the starting and condition to start with the service. So everyone, as you can see in the table, are asked to fill in this very simple one self-assessment survey, and for service 1, IP pre-diagnostic beneficiaries, 2-3 months after we complete, or the experts complete with you and present to you the results of that prior diagnostic, so you can use it for your company. You are asked to complete a post-service IP response question. Okay, so it's there, so you know that you have to do that after the prior diagnostic has been carried out. And then the next one will be 2 months after service activation. We will see later on what service activation means. For all of you, there will be a impact questionnaire to be filled in, as I said, 12 months after service activation, so we can see the difference, and we can, we can follow up on the improvement that you've been benefiting from the self-assessment to the impact questionnaire. And then approximately 3 years after service activation, there's another very last one, long-term impact questionnaire that you'll be asked to fill in. Probably this will be done by European Commission or your national IP offices, since this most probably mean that this is out of the IPA4SME scope project. So this will be after 2022. So this will be after the project ends. The first one, well, this is very important for us, as I was saying. This will help us to gain a general understanding of the knowledge level of you companies regarding IP management and the protection strategies. This is important also. The results will remain completely anonymous. Okay, so with the exception of service 1 beneficiaries, whose results will be shared with the designated expert who will be carrying out the pre-diagnostic. Okay, so only us and the expert will have access to that to the answers that you provide during the self-assessment initial survey. Okay, and that's it. So and that represents, as I was saying, the kickoff. sort of speaking of the service. Then you can see the post-service IP response questionnaire. This is a form to be completed exclusively by Service 1 beneficiaries. We'll cover the same topics as the previous one, and will be used to gauge the progress made by Service 1 beneficiaries following the IP diagnostics. Well, this is important for us and also for the European Commission to see to what extent the results, the suggestions, recommendations, and not only the information provided in that the report that you will be given has had an impact in your proceedings, in your strategy, in the results that you have as a company, and for that reason and for this purpose, this post-service IP response questionnaire has been designed for. Okay, then as we were seeing, 12 months after activation, there's an impact survey. It has been designed to measure the impact of the support provided through the action as a whole. Okay, so not only Service 1 beneficiaries, but all of you benefiting from other service, from the reimbursement part of the service, and so on. And in terms of to what extent the IP management and implementation strategies that you might have followed have an impact in your performance as a company. And then the long-term questionnaire, as I said, like 3 years after activation of your support, in order to follow up on those improvements and see to what extent this has a deep impact in your activities as a company. There's another important thing that accessible via EMS, and that of course well, especially of course those who have applied for Service 2 and 3 is okay, your bank information. We need to have the information of your financial your bank in order to reimburse the corresponding costs that we are obliged to in the framework of this action. Okay, so for support services 2 and 3, a beneficiary will be required to upload a signed financial identification form. This is a very probably most of you know about this. This is a standard form available in these links. That this form is the one that everyone is using when participating in European projects. There are very clear instructions how to complete it, and we need this form to be filled in and signed by you and uploaded upload the information and send it directly to the EMS platform. In case you have any questions, so you can direct this to this email account. Okay, so and if there's any changes on that, because this is the information we will be using, as I said, without any thinking or any further proceedings, using that information in order to proceed with the payment, with the reimbursement of your costs for Service 2 and 3, as I said. Okay. So if we go one by one, service by service, and here we present what we try to present a clear and straightforward picture of how what are the steps that are involved in the execution and also in the activation of the service. So you can see here that the steps involved in activating and receiving the IP prior diagnostic, which is the service that involves some more kind of interaction with also with third parties. Support service are the following. So you have to just as in all cases, you have to fill in and complete the IP4SME self-assessment survey at the very beginning. That represents the initiation of the service. Then IP pre-diagnostic expert will be designated. We will see now how is that going to be, and what type of designations are foreseen within this process, then you will have to, with our cooperation with our help, to start an initial contact with the expert and schedule a visit, a meeting with him or her, in order to carry out the pre-diagnostic. And then, as you were seeing at the table above, 2 or 3 months after, you have to fill in a post-service happy response questionnaire. So if we go point by point, self-assessment survey, especially we already talked about this. But it's important to highlight here that the IPA diagnostic cannot begin until the beneficiary survey results have been provided to the designated expert. So you need to fill in this, so we can further, we can forward the results to the designated expert, and so he can or she can take a look at it and prepare the visit to your company. In terms of the or as far as the designation of the expert is concerned, as I said, we will, as the coordination team, will facilitate the initial contact with you, so you can maybe interchange a couple of emails, or just have a conversation in order to agree on a specific date in which he or she can perform the visits. And this process will differ slightly depending on the country of your country. I mean, whether if you're in Germany or in Italy or in Ireland, there's a different approach here. Expert assigned by national IP, you can be assigned with an expert by which this has been decided by the national IP office. Okay. Or you can select an expert from a list that we will provide to you. And luckily or unluckily, if you are in Austria, Denmark, France, Germany, Netherlands, or Spain, you will be assigned an expert by the national IP office. This is how it goes, and this is how it's been decided also at country level with the European Commission. And if you are in Greece, Italy, Latvia, or Sweden, you will be given a list of qualified experts, and from which you can select the one that you like most. In this case, we will try to, of course, not only give you a name, but provide you with some further information on what are the expertise, sector, and some other information that at least can give you an insight and give you information whether to decide with whom to work. Also, availability will be an issue here, and of course we can take for granted that of course all of the experts that we will giving you to select from will have very, very similar level of knowledge and experience. Of course, it's a matter of slight differences in which you can, and also availability, because these people, these experts will have to depending on the country, will have to work with a number of companies like you, acting or working on the same country. So he or she will have to work with the agenda in order to be able to work properly with everyone. Okay, so this is all you have to know. I mean, if you're in one of these countries, you will be you will be assigned an expert directly, so you don't have to think. And if you're in the other countries, you will be given a list, sorry, and you will have to choose an expert you want to work with. And as I said, we will facilitate the communication, the first initial communication with him or her, so you can schedule the visits in order to carry out the diagnostic. Initial contact, and that would be the third step, initial contact and scheduling. Once the beneficiary has been assigned or chosen an expert, the two parties will begin communicating and agree on a schedule for the implementation of the service. Upon reaching an agreement regarding the starting date of the service, us, the coordination center, we share the beneficiary's IP diagnostic survey, the one you prepare at the beginning, with the expert. So you carry out, so you agreed and you carry out, or the expert carry out with your help, the prior diagnostic service at your premises, basically. And this consists of the following main steps. The initial analysis, of course, the expert will analyze the competitive environment of your company, and the survey responses that you gave previously to gain an initial understanding of the beneficiary's IP situation. Then the visit and interview with you will be done. We'll be visiting your companies with a in-depth interview that normally lasts like between 2 to 4 hours, depending on on the agenda, depending on other questions and answers and doubts you might have, or if you can schedule with him or her a visit to your premises. In this case, as you might imagine, the more the information the expert gets from you, the better or more aligned or more adequate the result of the analysis will be, or more benefit for you, of course. So just follow what the expert asks you. Just follow and try to give all the information that they might require from you, and try to show, because seeing and feeling and touching sometimes is also very important in order to gain insight and to get an understanding of what the company is all about. So the more information that it gets, the better for everyone. And the final result, the expert would deliver, he will be back home or to the office and start preparing the report, and with suggestions and recommendations to you as a company, which will be discussed afterwards in person if you can, or in this case you can do it via video or teleconference, or discuss the recommendations and the content of the final report that will be issued to you. Okay, so you will have the chance to receive the report and to discuss with the expert some of the recommendations or suggestions that they will be given to you. Okay, and once this has been done, there's a confirmation of the services. So we need that to in order to keep up with the process, and also to close our relation with the expert or the organization that is providing us the expert for you. So we are simply in this case, as intermediary, we need to from you that you confirm that the service has been done, because we won't be there with you during the diagnosis or during the later discussion via video or teleconference about the results. So upon completion of the service, the beneficiary will be asked to respond to a follow-up questionnaire, a very simple one, regarding the questions regarding your overall satisfaction with the IP diagnostic service. And so you will have to fill in that and upload it in the EMS platform. Okay, so that's important for us in order to complete our relation with the expert or the organization that is sending out the expert for us. And then, well, also the post-service IP response question that I was referring at the beginning, and you saw that in the table. So I know that sometimes it might be or might look like there's a lot of questionnaires and things, but all of them has been thought out in a very simple way, and in a way that provide just the important information that we need, or in this case you also need in order to detect the impact that this has been given to you as a company. third point, or second point, in this time frame, it's important to take this, very important to take this into account. The IP pre-diagnostic service should be completed within 4 months of date of the communication of the support service award, which in your case, this date is yesterday, June 24th. So the whole process that we've been going through has to, or should be completed within the next 4 months. So it will go up to 24th October, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so but in this case, since there's this different approach in the expert assignment and so on, this is why we indicate that the 4 months are should be the time frame for this. During the next days, the work is on us, so we have to put this into place, and on you, all you have to do is wait until you get contacted or get assigned with an expert, or get contacted with a list, so you can start the process. Okay. So this is the ideal situation for the expert. We also perfectly aware that summer period is there, and that is going to be, it brings difficulties in terms of scheduling with you, of course, and also with the expert. But I think 24th of October to finalize the whole process is kind of a reasonable time frame for everyone, despite the difficulties we might have to do June, July, or August due to vacation. Okay, so that goes for service 1. For service 2, partial reimbursement of EPO fees, European Patent Office fees. Here we present a workflow that so we can give you some guidance of the main steps that have to be taken in order to complete seamlessly and with no problem the whole process. Again, everything starts with the self-assessment survey that indicates that the rest of the steps can be taken. Okay, and well, you can see that we can go a step-by-step process. Okay, so first one, self-assessment. As I said, the support service cannot be activated otherwise. Okay, if you don't do this, the service cannot be activated, and as we will have the chance to see now, there's a limit to activate the servicing for this service 2 and service 3. So we'll see that later. So first step as in service 1, so we have to fill in this assessment survey, and then once you do this, so the service has been activated, you can start providing us with, in case you have a valid EPO invoice. So beneficiaries can only be reimbursed once they have 1 or more valid invoices from the European Patent Office. A valid invoice for support service 2 would be one issued by the office, of course, to the beneficiary for one of the following services. You can see here we have, and we have a link there also, the only valid invoices that we going to accept from you and that are coming from the EPO. So you can see there the code and the description. Either you have paid, or you have an invoice and filing fee if it's direct or not online or online. And number 2, a fee of a European research application filed on, well, this is indication on the date, designation fee or examination fee. So filing fee, European search designation fee or examination fee. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4 5 fees that are allowed to be reimbursed within our action. Okay, I think it's very clear and straightforward. Well, you have there a couple of them more. This has been added later on. The very last one, renewal fee for the 3rd year. That is also a fee that can be acceptable for us. And number 7 as well. But this is not everything. We also need a proof that you have paid in order to reimburse to you. You have paid the invoice, so beneficiaries must provide proof that the IPO invoice, whatever it is, or invoices, in case you provide with a variety of them, has been paid before the partial reimbursement can occur. Okay. The receipt of payment from the IPO should clearly indicate the services which have been paid and the date of payment. So make sure that that you fill in that, because we're going to provide a template for this, or indication of how this can be done, to make sure that this information is included in the proof of payment. And then once you have done that, you can request a partial reimbursement to us. To request partial reimbursement, beneficiaries simply need to upload one or more valid IPO invoices and proof of payment, the corresponding proof of payment to the EMS platform. Okay, you will be assigned, you will have the chance, if you go to the EMS platform, you will see that there is a space to do this, to upload these documents either on a PDF or zip files. And you will also see that the maximum you have two reimbursement requests during the whole action. Okay, so make sure that you plan yourself in a way in which you take the most out of the limits of the reimbursement rates and amounts. Okay, as you know, for service 2 you have a maximum 2,200 or 2,500 euros maximum, and you can split that or do it in 2 different, or either in 1 or 2 maximum service reimbursement requests. So for this reason, beneficiaries may submit as many invoices as proofs of payment as they have available for each request. So you can compile or you can group invoices and make a request for one group of invoices. I mean, up to whatever amount it is. And once the beneficiaries have made a second request, the reimbursement, they will not be able to make an additional one, because, as I said, you have maximum 2. Okay, so that brings you, well, just a little bit of planification in terms of trying to reach the maximum reimbursement amount you have available. Okay. And then what we will be doing is, okay, we will check that all the documents, invoices, and the proof of payments are okay, and then we will, of course, with your financial ID form that we were talking earlier, we will reimburse to you the corresponding amount. And then there will be just a last step for you, is that we need from you a confirmation of reimbursement. We need to know that this money that we have transferred to you has been effectively been transferred, and that you have received the money. So we need a confirmation from your side that this has been successful, and then everybody's happy. Okay. And this has to be done. It has to be done also through the section in the EMS platform. We have designed the platform in a way that's very simple, with the typical window in which or bottom view, which you can upload and download documents, and it's very clear and simple for you to do. Okay. Time frame for Service 2. Service 2 beneficiaries must activate their support service within 4 months of date of the communication of the award. In your case, cutoff date 1 again is 24th of June, so yesterday. and then to activate the support, so you have 4 months. In case you don't do that, you will be, the service will be removed from you. You will not be a beneficiary of service 2 or 3 or whatever anymore. Okay, you have 2 options: either go on or carry out an initial payment request through EMS. The service can be activated with the first request for reimbursement by presenting at least one valid invoice and proof of payment. If you already have that, which might be difficult because it has to be after yesterday. But if you might have this by next week or so, or with the next couple of weeks, you can do this. You can activate the support doing it so, or you can do it by providing a proof of application. Beneficiaries can also activate the service by sending an official proof of patent application from the EPO to, in this case, you don't have to do this to the EMS, but you have to do it sending that proof of application to the calls, the email address that you already know. Okay, so you just sending a proof of application to that. Your service will be automatically activated. But again, you have 4 months to do this. Okay, so you can plan yourself as well, and and take a look at the timings and what is your plan your idea to work with the European Patent Office and activate the service accordingly. Okay. So once activated, beneficiaries will have until the end of the project, until the end of IP4SME, to make their second request for reimbursement in case you have used the first option above. And as I was saying, if the beneficiary does not activate the service to award within 4 months, the support will be cancelled. That doesn't mean that you will have to apply again to the next cut-off date. As you know, we will be having, unless we consume all the budget that we have, we will be having a cut-off date every 2-3 months. The next one is 26, will be 20, as you might have read, 26th of September, and the next, I think, is 16th December. So every 2-3 months there will be a cut-off date. In case there's a problem, in case it doesn't finally fit to your strategy or whatever, you cannot, or you're not in position to activate your service too within these 4 months. So within by next 24th of October. Okay, this service will be cancelled for you, but you can apply again within the next cut-off date. In that case, would be maybe December this year. Okay. In the case, this is important. In the event that beneficiary has been awarded, because we know that some of you are. This is the case for some of you, awarded both service 2 and 3 in the same cut-off date. So the cut-off date that we are now working on. The activation of either the support services of one or the other will be automatically extend the time for activation to the other by additional 4 months. Okay, this is a kind of situation in which the ones that have been awarded with two services have a because this requires a better planning or involves more people, the IP expert, the IP attorney and their invoices related. There's an extra 4 months for you to activate the service. Beneficiaries are requested to inform the coordination center of this email in case they decide to stop pushing the application process. Okay, this is important. Because it will not affect the fees already reimbursed, of course. That's out of the question. But it will allow us to reallocate or reuse the budget that will be not used by you in the future to other beneficiaries. So you don't have to worry in case you for whatever reason you decide or you see that maybe you have another. Pending, you have one pending request, payment request reimbursement, a second one maybe, and you know that it is not going to be used. you can inform us officially. Just drop us an email saying that, and then we can somehow cancel that remaining budget for you and allocate it to another one. And again, that doesn't mean that if for whatever reason, again, you need to apply for something else or even for the same thing, you can use the next cut-off dates to re-engage with us. Okay, so this has to be clear. Okay, so service 3, as you know, partial reimbursement of the IP attorney fees. We have drafted a kind of a simple image in which you can see also the steps that have to be taken in order to clearly and transparently proceed with the payments and proof of payments and everything. And again, everything starts with the IP self-assessment survey that you need to do. If you don't do this, the service cannot be activated, and since you will also have 4 months to this, you have to do it in the very beginning, and that's the perfect situation. So we can go step by step again. The steps are the following: same self-assessment. Suppose service cannot be activated if you have not completed the survey. So next one would be the valid IP attorney invoices. Beneficiaries can only be reimbursed once they have one or more valid invoices from an IP patent attorney, entitled to IPA4SME. And these invoices must be issued by an IP patent attorney who appears in the IPO list of professional representatives. Okay, so we will be checking whether this person whose name will be seen, of course, in the invoice is on the list or not. So it's a go not go situation. I mean, if it's on the list, it's perfect for us, and if it's not, the invoice is not valid, so we cannot reimburse that amount. Here we have prepared a set of 3 things that are that must include the invoices. IP attorney invoice must include the name, of course, of the patent attorney, so we can check whether he or she is in the IPO database. The patent application process, so the invoice must have a reference on the title of invention or IP that is being protected, or he or she is helping you to protect. So a clear reference. And C, number 3 is in case there's an idea of all the advice of the IP attorneys that you don't follow. I mean, you don't continue preparing or with the European patent. A statement saying that why is that, and that the service has been, or the advice has been given in that direction. Okay, so or the patent application number. Either of them will be okay for us. A model for this statement, precisely statement is provided at the very end of this document in the annex 1 of this document. Okay, you can check that also, or we can see it later on. To facilitate the reimbursement process for this information, it should be included in English. As part of the description field or the concept of the description field in the invoice. Okay, so if there's no problem if the rest of the invoice or the invoice of the IP attorney is in your mother tongue, but we need to have at least this part following this just simple 3-4 lines description in order for us to check, since we don't master all the languages that are spoken in Europe. We need to have this in order to perform it fast and clear and transparent. Okay, so please there's no problem if you leave the rest of the thing of the invoices in your mother tongue, but we need to have this with the number of application, the name of the patent attorney, etc., with your PIC number, etc. in English. This part needs to be in English. Just as the previous service to service, we need a proof of payment. We need to approve that you have paid the invoice to the IP attorney in order for us to proceed with the reimbursement. Here we say that only bank transfer receipts clearly indicate the name of the beneficiary would be accepted or are accepted. Okay, so make sure that this information is on the proof of payment document, and you can again proceed with the to request partial reimbursement. Again, you can hear you have maximum 2 chances of compiling or reaching the maximum amount of reimbursement per patent process, and this will be again done through the IMS platform, so you can collect or put together one or more valid IP patent turning invoices in a single PDF, or just make a zip file and upload it in the IMS platform. And again, beneficiaries should be aware that once they have made a second request for reimbursement, you will not be able. I mean, the system will not allow you to make a third one. Okay, so make sure you plan yourself clearly in this matter. And then again, confirmation of reimbursement. We need from you a confirmation that the money that we have transferred to you has been effectively reach your bank. Okay, so we need that to be uploaded in this platform again for our internal following up. Okay. Well, just as is the same here, you must activate your service 3 within 4 months of date of communication, so within the next 4 months counting from yesterday, and in this case, to activate the support, you as beneficiary, you must take the first request for reimbursement by presenting at least one valid invoice. So there's no, in this case, there aren't 2 options of activating. You only have one option to activate the service. So you have 4 months to make a first request of a valid invoice, a valid one or more invoices. Okay. Once activated, beneficiary will have until the end of the IP4SME action project to make, which is end of. We have set up this for December 31st, 2021. Okay, to complete or to make the second one. If a beneficiary does not activate their service 3 award within 4 months, the support will be cancelled again. You can reapply again in the forthcoming cutoff dates without any penalization. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this. Then we won't put you down in the ranking because you did this or that, because this is not. We understand that. This is the way things go, and the rules are the same for everyone. So this is very clear. Again, just because as we all know, service 2 and service 3 are connected. There's also an exception in the activation term or time frame for those who have service 2 and service 3 in the same cutoff date. Okay, the activation of either of the support services will be automatically extended by the activation of the other 4 months. Okay, so you have more time to activate the other if you activate one of the services you've been awarded with. Okay. So what? And then finally, this is the annex model statement of discontinuation of the patent application process, because as we all know, the advice of the IP attorney might be, in some cases, that due to this and that reason, the recommendation from the patent attorney is that just stop application of the European patent, but that doesn't mean that the service or the advice from the IP attorney has not been given. So we just need this reasoning and this statement from the patent attorney, and everything will be fine for us. We can reimburse the cost of that advice as well. Okay. And this is it. I mean, this is. I hope that we have made ourselves clear in this whole process, especially with the most important things and most mandatory things that need to be done from your side, and also we are perfectly aware that things that have to be done by our side, especially for the service one activation and for the service one interaction with the experts. And well, I think now might be the time for questions. Any questions that you might have? See if I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Francisco. There are a few questions in the question section. Can you see them?
It's very, very, very small. I don't know how to. Here we go. Okay. I think I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about if I'm in Ireland? That's the first one. Is that the first question? Am I right?
Yes, that's the first question. Yeah.
That's a very good question, because we're as far as I know, if my colleague Ian corrects me, as far as I know, we don't have any news from the country so far. Okay, but we are together with the Commission working hard on that to get a final answer on how to proceed with those companies who are located in Ireland, which are just a few, but I mean, even if it was one, we don't know yet whether we're going to follow the process of a list of experts to be chosen by the company, or is the IP office, national office, who's going to designate an expert for each of the companies. Okay. I got a message here from my colleague.
Ian, I added you as an organizer, so you should be able to
speak
to answer as well.
Okay. Well, Ian just said that as soon as we know, we will contact Irish beneficiaries. We will contact Irish beneficiaries individually. Okay. So we will go one by one with you and inform you of the process to be followed. Okay. We are as much as interested as you to do this quick and clearly. So we will contact you individually in order to inform what are the next steps to be done in this case. Okay. Thanks for the question, but this is something that has concerned us for the past few days. Okay, so see if the next question is for service one. What Swedish Stockholm-based experts are eligible to take on the IP repair diagnostic? We will inform you within the next days. Again, the policy is that, as you can, I can see that you might want to express it in your question, is that availability and where the expert is located is also, of course, a variable here, an issue, and so we will be looking at experts, and you will be looking at experts that are close to you and know the region, know the city maybe, and know the environment. So yeah, this will be the policy, but but you will be informed within the next days who are the expert available in your area to choose. My company prefer either brand AB or Epic AB that we already have used in the past and we can speed up. Okay, that, I mean, as long I don't know to which service this might be referred to, but as long as it complies with the rules that we have set up, there's initially, I mean, there's no, in principle, no problem with us whether you work with one or another, as long as it's an IP expert attorney that is in the IPA4 or is an IP expert in our list, etc. So for us, it's no problem. What is the chance of getting a level 2 support service? I guess this means that meaning that you have a level 1 support service. Well, the chances, I mean, it's equal to everyone. I mean, as you might have seen or heard during the application or previous to the application process, is that the ranking is done on the basis of the points that you received in your SME instrument application, for which you receive the seal of excellence. Okay, so the higher score you got there, the most probability of getting support here in this project you have. But for the forthcoming, but in addition to that, we can advance that. I mean, for the forthcoming calls, the budget that we will have will be more, or at least, I mean, will be the same, but we will have more flexibility to allocate budget to the ranking of proposals or the applications. So I mean, the chance is you never know, but in general terms, there will be a higher chance to get a level 2 support service within the next cutoff date. Okay, than in the first one, due to these reasons that I was saying. Where to find this document online? As I said, you have to log in using the same user and password as you used for the application. You have to log in the EMS platform, and you go to I think it's my documents. It's very clear there. And you just can load, or I think it's a further documentation is the menu name of the section of the menu where you can download the document. Okay, so it's in the EMS platform. If you log in, you will be seeing it very, very easy. We have been selected for service 2 and 3. Do we have 2 reimbursement requests between both services, or 2 no, it's two reimbursement requests for each service. Okay, so it's there is not a need to mix up things here, or mix up services here. You have 2 reimbursement requests to be done for service 2, and 2 reimbursement requests to be done for service 3. Okay, so the services are different, so connected but different, and you have 2 chances for each of the services. Okay, so good morning. In case that service 3 but not service 2 has been awarded, I understand that we could apply for it in the next cutoff. Yes, totally agree. Yes, you can apply for service 2 again for the next cutoff date, and you will most probably have the chance to. We know that what we've been working also on is to ease that process for you as much as possible, so you can reuse as much as information you use for this service 2 application that was not awarded for the next cutoff date. So we will try to ease your way, so speaking, just to make it a simple thing to you. And and for the next cut-off date. So yes, go for it, please. We had to pay annual renewal fees at the end of May. Is it possible to reimburse that only, or payments after the cut-off date? Well, actually, it's not after cut-off date. It's after the communication date. So it will be everything after 24th of June 2019. Okay. So we cannot. I mean, we cannot accept. We cannot go back in time and accept that those payments before. Not even as you said, the 13th of June, but it's the communication date of the award, which is yesterday. Okay, my attorney said to wait until we are granted the UK patent before we apply for the European patent. That would take a few years. That would be out of date. Well, yes, but yes. I mean, what can I say? Yes, if that would take years. I mean, just of course you have to follow what your attorney says, and just to follow the strategy that you guys have drafted for your company. And in case, just I mean, yeah, you have to follow up on us and whether maybe for the last cut-off date that would be available by. In principle, we have because unless we consume all the budget that we have, are foreseen for the year beginning of 2021. But yes, you have to see. We have to see whether. But it looks like, or it looks as if it's going to be. Is it going to be out of scope here? Yeah. Okay, looks like there are no further questions. Is there any question? Any comment from anyone? Okay then.
Maybe just from our side that we will, I think there just came in a question, but also that we will upload a recording of this webinar to our website. So in case you want to review anything that Francisco mentioned, you will be able to find it on our website soon.
Yeah, everything will be on the website. Just and to read really carefully this document again. I think it's only 13 pages. Big letters, as you have seen, and any question, just drop us an email to the call's email address, and we will reply it very shortly. And for those for service 1, I mean for service 2 and 3, I mean I think it's very straightforward. Just organize yourself, and you can start right away. And for service 1, just wait and see a little bit, just a few days to get contacted, either to get contacted by the IP office or either by us, and because in our intention is to assign or designate an expert to you as soon as possible, so you can start the process within as soon as possible, even before the break in the summer. So that's it. I mean, thank you again. And
Francisco, there were 2 more questions, I think, that just came in the last minute. Yes, so if you scroll down, there were 2 further ones.
Let's see. We answered already the self-assessment. Can we start to work on patents and get invoices starting now? Yes, of course you can. That's very fast. And I cannot see the other one. Let's see. Just to confirm, let's see if I can read it. Just to confirm that IP4SME is compatible with an SME instrument phase 1 not currently awarded. Yes. Now currently awarded. Yes, it's compatible. Yes. The only thing that is not compatible is with phase 2. Okay. But by the time you apply, I mean, if you get a phase 2 project within the next month, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, you already in, so you will not be put out. But phase two SME instrument phase two awarded projects exclude or eliminate companies. Okay, so it's not you're not eligible if you for support. It's not compatible with us if you get a phase two SME instrument project. Okay. That was made, I think it was made clear during the application process, but now, again, for the next cut-off date, this will be the same. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Niklas, because I didn't realize there was another more questions.
I think there are actually two more. I'm not sure why you can't see them.
I don't know why.
There were two at 11:08. Should I read them otherwise?
I can see this one. Can you repeat that? What is the max budget available for service 2 and 3? Yeah, the max budget available for service 2 is 2,500, so 2,500 euros, and for 3 is 2,000 euros per patent application. So per patent. If you have more patents, you have another 2,500 up to, so maximum. But again, as you maximum value, or either in service or in budget for a or if you take the whole thing, if you take the maximum budget allocated for one company in IP4SME is 15,000 euros. Okay, so if you have several patents, you can apply for reimbursement of the different processes of each patent. Okay, but these are the limits: maximum 2,500 for service 2 and 2,000 euros for service 3. Okay, and that's one. And if we get awarded in phase 2 in the July session, what happens? Well, as far as I know, you won't be able to apply for the next cutoff date in case you have more patents, or you have not been awarded to a service during this first application process, and you want to get it in the next cutoff date. You won't be able to do that. But as long as the service that are putting us together today, nothing happens. You won't be able to apply for the next cutoff date, but you're perfectly able to stay with us during this because you got into cutoff date 1. Okay, so it wouldn't make any sense to kick you out of this because you get a phase 2 during the next session. Okay, I think.
I mean, if anyone has further questions, we do have an email address, so you can always contact us there.
Well, I've seen another one. Sorry, Niklas.
Yes, sorry.
For the IP prior diagnostic, are we supposed to make the IP strategy and send you the budget? Oh, I don't really get this question. You're supposed to. You don't have to send me any budget. I mean, we pay for the expert to do the prior diagnostic. You don't have to pay anything. It's free of charge for you, as you know. And so you make the strategy with him or her, and we will take care of the payments to him or her. And you only have to confirm, just to confirm with us to us that this service has been given to you, and just do the survey 2-3 months after, and that will be all. I mean, you don't have to send us anything regarding the budget or the payment to the expert. That will be on us. Yeah. Okay. That I think that's it. Unless we got 3 more. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Can you please repeat the email address? The email address. Well, you can see it in the screen here. The email address is here. calls@ip4sme.eu. Okay. That's the one you have to write with any question, any document. If you have doubts, this and that, has been set up especially for you, so you can bomb us with emails there. Sorry, Ian. But I mean, this is we have to follow up on you, and we have to follow up on your problems, and we have to know everything. So either that, or either through the EMS platform, which, as I said, is more for official documentation and the things that will remain there, and the things that we'll be checking in order to do the reimbursement, and you know. But anything else, you can drop us an email there. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. It's been 1 hour and 50 minutes already. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Niklas, of course. Thank you, Ian, and also Joan for being there. We stay tuned. I mean, you've been there. We might repeat this for some other attendees in the coming weeks, just depending on how, if you receive many questions from many other people, because we know who you are, who has been attending today. In case we need, we might repeat this webinar in the near future. But in any case, just keep in touch. Congratulations again, and just take the most out of this, and well, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.